And that's what I was saying. Sitting down and being real with yourself.
Okay.
That's the investment. Stop being busy. Stop being busy and really sit down and give time to yourself. You giving yourself time. You investing time into yourself instead of just the task of doing stuff. Or, investing money into your business. You investing time.
Yes.
You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in. Welcome to another episode conversation of We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
Man, it's good to be back. And as y'all hear, we made it work. We are not in the same place. We are not in person right now. But the good thing about it is that technology has grown and we can make things work on the move. So how you feeling today, Vic?
Feeling good, man. Feeling productive right now. In this very moment, got up, getting a few contracts together I've needed to get together for today. Trying to figure out a new way to get documents signed for free because I don't feel like paying for DocuSign. So that's what I'm doing right now, trying to figure that out.
You got
the what?
I lost you for a little quick second, but you can continue, bro.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, I was just trying to figure out a way to get documents signed free without having like a DocuSign account, which is what I typically use. So I'm just trying to figure that out this morning. But feeling productive, man. How about you?
Man, it's been a battle. It's been a battle like it is right now. Like I said, multitasking has been, a thing that I'm having to learn. Because me personally, I don't like multitasking. I really like to focus my energy on one thing at a time. But with me having my son, I've been learning that, it's kind of a necessity. Like you need to be able to do things simultaneously, but that's a part of growth and a part of what's going on. So no complaints there, bro. But I'm feeling well. Everything been good, man. And how work been for you and everything?
Ooh-wee. It's been challenging, man. And I think the most challenging part is, me having an understanding of what I deem as good management and having to serve under what I don't see as good management. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, stuff happens and it's like, why did it happen this way? Like last night, for example, I'm supposed to do modules. As with any job, you either got to watch videos or click through a bunch of modules and answer questions and all this kind of stuff. Early off when you first start working, and for whatever reason, I didn't do mine, and I think that's because management wanted me to go directly to work. So he really didn't allocate any time for me to do it.
Uh-huh.
And, it's some more stuff that go behind that, but I don't want to potentially expose anything. But some things were done in a very wrong way. But last night, as I was leaving, the stand-in manager was like, "Oh, don't forget you got to do your modules today." Now, mind you, I've already stayed to work past an hour that I'm supposed to be here. And at the end of the day, you want to tell me to do my modules.
Whoa, boy, that would have made me so mad.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we've been here all day. You could have said something to this. You could have said something to me about this when I first got here. But see, the thing is that the person that told me this didn't want to go back there and fill in for me while I do my modules.
You say he didn't want to?
Yeah, man. That's what I'm, that's what I perceive it as. Because I could have easily done my modules on the computer. You stand in for me for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, teamwork.
But nah. Yeah. But nah. That's not how it went. That's how I would have done it. Get your modules done. That's important. I'll do your work for you for a little bit.
Right.
And I do one of the tougher tasks. So I know that's probably why. But, just stuff like that, man. And that's not the only occurrence where I've noticed, poor management, man. But, and just like I said, I don't know if I said to you before, but I'm really learning, what not to do in instances when it comes to managing stuff.
Right.
So it's a blessing, man. And I'm trying to keep that perspective in it and not get frustrated. Because last night, man, I was being like crazy to my lady about it. As soon as I got in the car, she was just like, calm down. Just calm down. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
We kind of on the same frequency when it comes to that, bro. Because I really been wanting to improve in character and how I handle situations. So like I've been saying, even on the last episode with patience, like this still a part of patience, and I'm understanding that in the midst of me building my patience, I have to be patient with myself. So that's just an encouragement to you, bro. Don't forget to be patient with yourself in this process of you learning. And I see that you are, though. I see that you are pretty patient with yourself because you notice instances where you could do something in the situation to go left, but you decide to do it another way. So respect and kudos to you. And I see your growth, bro.
I appreciate that, man. Both the encouragement and the kudos, man. I definitely need that encouragement and the kudos because, it's a task. And, just that word of encouragement helps. And also the kudos helps because it's like, okay, it's kind of like a confirmation, like you're on the right track. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I appreciate both of them, man.
Yes, bro. So tapping in, bro, tapping into the conversation. I thought about something yesterday and I was like, you know what? This is a good conversation that I want to bring to the people because it really hit home for me because it was kind of personal. And I also felt like a lot of people would have the same testimony or the same issue as well. So diving into the topic, I wanted to talk about how we grow up, right? And we look forward to being 18. And not only do we look forward to being 18, our parents look forward to us being 18.
Right.
So I was just thinking about how the younger generation or our generation per se, how we grew up being afraid of being an adult because our parents or our family or friends told us what to expect when we become an adult. So they warned us of this life that was hard and this life that we was gonna grow up and hate. And they told you that you had to leave the house or whatever. Some parents told their children that they had to leave at 18.
Right.
But they didn't necessarily give them children a plan to leave at 18.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? So you told me that I had to leave at 18, but you didn't give me a plan on what to do when I leave at 18. So it's like, honestly, at 18, the people that get kicked out, you get kicked out to freestyle at life. So my point is like, why I feel like, so my question that comes from that is like, is that healthy? Because it's like, yeah, I understand you want your son to grow up and you want him to go out into the world or your daughter to go out into the world and be responsible and be an adult. But it's like, how can they do that when you didn't set the grounds for that? You didn't set the foundation for that. All you did is warn them about bills and warn them about responsibility. You never told them about having big dreams or, and I just see a different dynamic coming from that because if you aren't prepared to face an obstacle, you're going to be met with a failure. So they warn us about the obstacle, but they don't give us a plan. So tap into that. Like, how you feel about that? Like, going forward in the next generation, like, I feel like we should make it our business to not only prepare them, not only tell them what to expect, but to also prepare them with some type of a plan or course of action so that they can have a better situation.
Yeah, man. I think more light. Man, I love this topic because like you just don't know. I got some stuff I've been working on in the works that I definitely want to talk to you about. I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you, but it definitely speaks to this very issue, man. Because I'm very passionate about this topic because a lot of us aren't prepared for everything that life brings, man.
Right.
And
right,
I think the issue is that, you know, at this point, we rely so heavily on the school system, bro, that really ain't teaching us shit when it come to life.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And parents, you know, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like we have so much faith in the school system to prepare us, but, you know, what is it really preparing us for? And I think that really has to be challenged. And it hasn't been. You know what I mean? Right. Especially in the Black community. But, you know, as far as parents sending us out there unprepared, I really think it's just a lack of discussion and a lack of action on that, you know? Because It is throw down. Because, man, you get out here, man, and it's like, oh, what's this? What's that? I mean, it's been plenty of times where I had to call my mama and be like, Mama, how I feel this out?
Right.
Which insurance plan should I pick? You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is the stuff that comes, you know, you got some teenagers that deal with this. I mean, you got teenagers that's, you know, having insurance. You know, it's not even just kicking in when they turn 18. And it's like we still be ill prepared, man. But I don't know, man. Like, you got any ideas on what could be done to kind of counteract that action?
Well, you talking about to prevent it going forward or to like hop on the problem as it is right now?
I mean, as far as like the first one you said, like to prevent it from happening.
Well, I feel like, man, see, the part of this conversation that really struck me is the type of mindset that we have after being scared about being an adult. So I feel like that's where we have to start. Let's start with the mindset, because when we are kids, our parents always talk about what we're gonna be, what he gonna be, when he gonna grow up. He gonna have a better life and all of this stuff. But then when we grow up, it don't pan out like that. So my main thing is like, we have to tap into vision. We got to have a vision for our children. We got to have a vision for our family. And I think that's what a lack is. We don't have many leaders. We don't have many visionaries in the household. So it's like we randomly live in life going by what traditions say, going by what the government say, going by what society say. And it's like, if we don't have no foundation of where we want to be individually, then we'll still fall into the same ruts. So my answer to that is simply, bro, we have to tap into vision. And how you tap into vision, you have to put towards that thought. Like you were saying, like, it has to be conversations about this. It has to be environmental changes that will help out with this, like in the household. And what's the environment in the household? You know, it needs to be a productive environment and not a household filled with fear. Because I grew up with fear. Like, I grew up being afraid of graduating and just going straight into paying bills. But that's not reality. Like, that's not reality. Like, that's not the way life's supposed to be. That's just our norm. That's the normalcy that we created. That's not normal. Like, we supposed to be like going after our goals. We're supposed to be trying to accomplish things for, you know, a legacy. But it seems like that's not a part of our thought process. It's literally just go to school, get a job, and maybe start a family.
Right.
It's not a real vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that has to be addressed, like that whole cookie cutter format of life. You know, because there's so many people that fall through those cracks, and it's like, when are we going to address people falling through these cracks?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, if you don't make it through this cookie cutter, then I guess you ain't just fit for life. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people with so much potential that don't fit that cookie cutter, that just kind of fall by the wayside. And it's like they almost treat it as if they nothing if they can't get good grades in school. You know what I mean?
Bro,
so like you said, bro.
Yeah.
So like you said, bro, it's like I think, like you said, bro, start with that vision, man. And parents gotta really, first of all, vision in on their children and, you know, try to start recognizing what are their strengths and weaknesses. And not just saying go to school. Like, what are you good at? You know what I mean? What are you good at? What do you like to do? What speaks to you?
Oh, man. Exactly. See, that openness right there, bro. I feel like that's how we make our children great. Like allowing them to speak, allowing them to have a voice. Because then, you know, when a person speaks, you learning what's in their head. So we don't never allow our children to speak, like back in the day, like us growing up, shut up. You know, and it's like literally when you say shut up to your child, you're closing their you're closing their openness to you, and you don't know what they're thinking now. So literally, like that's how parents don't know their child, because they always talk about shut up, because they be trying to tell you what they think, they be trying to tell you what they feel, but you don't want to listen. So I think that's another issue as well with raising children. And just having a freestyle in life, because it's like you can send them to school, and you know that's somewhat of a plan, but that's not really a plan because you just only picking up what others have done. So it's like they can get to college and they have no idea about what they want to do, and now they finna get in some debt, and they finna come back home without having accomplished anything. Now you finna be even more upset and want to kick them out again.
Right.
So it's like a spiral. It's just bad, bro. It's just bad, and I feel like a change of mindset will help that out, bro. Like we have to stop looking at the bad things of life, and I think our parents had went through so much trauma, and like being without, getting evicted, staying with other people, like all of this stuff was on their mind, and they like, let me warn my children for this. Like you trying to warn me about something that you don't even know I'm gonna go through. Like, why you putting that on me? Like, why you putting that in my mind? Like, how you know I'm gonna be late on my bills? Like, how you know I won't make enough money to sustain my family? Like, why you putting that negativity in my mindset before I even get there?
Real talk.
So I don't understand it either. That's the part, bro. That's the part right there.
But like you said, it's that trauma, bro. And I really think, you know, that slavery took a toll on our culture, bro. You know, because a lot of our parents, the goal was, no, not our parents, but like generations ahead of us. Like that goal was to get a job, get a 401k and some benefits, and you good. You made it. You know what I mean? Retire. That was the goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they come from. That's the place. That's just what it is. But I think with this new emerging generation, we seeing stuff a lot different, bro. I mean, conversations are totally different than what they were just maybe like 40 years ago. Conversations are totally different. Mind frame is totally different.
A big level up.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy to watch, bro. And it's happening so fast. And I think at the same time, though, we got to realize, okay, we got to put some other things in place. You know what I mean? Because I noticed that it's a lot of people that's now going into business for themselves. And that's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful.
Right.
But
CEO here, tapping in. I just wanted to remind all of our supporters and all of our listeners to share our podcast and encourage everybody to subscribe and get these great conversations. Back to the show.
it seems like it's a lot of kinks getting worked out in black business. You feel me?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? And that's because we ill prepared and we just figuring it out as we go. But I think that once we recognize the kink, then we should start pressing collectively to fix those kinks.
Right.
And I think that's what we would end up passing down to the next generation if we follow the format as we should, or how we would have liked our parents to. You know, like, don't just make us afraid of the kinks in life, but prepare us for those kinks.
Yes. Really? In a good manner, though, in a graceful manner, because it's like you can still prepare somebody out of fear.
For sure.
Like, you have to still make sure that we're being prepared out of hope, faith, belief, trust, power in God, all of that together has to be in your mindset, because like we talked about on the last episode, with that type of mindset, that's only good energy, and good energy only comes from the source, which is God. So anything outside of that is the other guy.
Right.
So when you keeping those types of energies in your mind and around you, you can't help but receive what God wants you to receive. Right. So it's like we just gonna be in an all-around better place by focusing our energy in that way. But tapping in, bro, I did just want to mention that. Because that is a great conversation. But how can we you asked me a question though. You said, what can we do right now? And I said something about starting with, vision and mindset and setting goals and whatnot. Okay, like I think another thing that could help with that, bro, is us having more mentorship.
That's heavy.
And I think, us building a community within MH10, and we'll be talking more about the incremental movement pretty soon. But, we had started an incremental movement to encourage people to go after their goals, but start small. So that's another way to encourage our young people to work on something, and that will help their mindset as well before they even get to college, before they even get to high school, before they even get to middle school, whatever the age group is. It would kind of shape their mindset because they're around the environment of people, going after their goals, setting goals, not just going after their goals, but even just goal setting, because sometimes we don't set our goals. We just talk. We talk about what we want to do, but we don't literally sit down, write them down, and be intentional about the goals that we want to achieve. So I feel that mentorship would be a good start for that as well, to prevent some of that mindset, mess up that we get from our home sometimes.
Real talk. Gotta help a whole lot. I wonder why. Like when you were saying that, I was wondering about my high school experience and wondering why we didn't have, people coming in to really do that. Like, why didn't we have that?
What
like all we ever got trained. Huh?
You said, why didn't we have mentorship?
Yeah. That coming to high school was like Army folks, bro.
But see, that's the exactly, and see, that's another issue. That's another issue. We have to stop giving the responsibility to other people with our children, because like a lot of times, look at that's another conversation. Look at how many people went to the Army, right, just to get away from home.
Right.
So it's like, okay, my mama told me I either got to go to work or go to school. We can't afford to go to school, and I really been working already all my life. So, I mean, I'm just going to go to the Army. A lot of people go to the Army based off of that scenario. So it's like, look at that whole mindset. That sounds like you just out of options. Like, and see, you're not out of options. That's a mindset. You're never out of options because there's a God. And God can make a way out of any way. And that's what I was just telling my woman the other day. Like, you're never out of options when you got God. You're only out of options when you try to handle situations yourself. Because you ain't got that many options.
Whew. I need that word.
Everything. So that's my viewpoint on that, man. But I feel like this conversation is coming to a close. As far as that part of the conversation, if you don't have anything left, it's on that end of the conversation.
Man, I ain't got nothing to say after what you just said, Jack. That's where I always end up, and you went there first. I ain't got nothing to say.
For sure. Now, leading to our next segment that we do every week, of what you learn. My God, keep learning. It's a lot to learn, but what have you learned recently? I know you talked about, work and, pressing towards your character goals or whatnot, or your personal goals and personal development, but what's something that you literally tried to learn or trying to learn, You tried to learn or trying to learn more of?
I'm definitely right now in the process of learning something. And that's to wait on God. And I just said I needed that word that you just said because of what I'm currently learning. Because I know I find myself trying to grab the reins on every situation I find myself in.
Right.
And I'm learning to just sit still. Like don't take no action yet. Because I've learned that I'll take an action and then I get into the situation that came of that action and be like, dang, this ain't it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm learning to wait. Just sit still. I know it might be a little uncomfortable, but I gotta learn to just wait on God to really guide me and show me what to do and just sit still until, you know?
Right. Cool, man. And that's powerful. That's a powerful thing to learn, because you can never go wrong with waiting on that, man. For real. You can only go right by waiting on the perfect power to come and make everything all right. But
right.
One thing I'm learning, man, is actually a couple things. One thing I'm learning is that, like I said earlier in the episode, like I got to be more patient with myself. Like that's towards learning, towards life, that's towards everything. I just got to be more patient with myself. Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
The Financial Fashion brand, man, was created to empower people to be the best version of themselves. And we do that by promoting positivity, self-improvement, and financial literacy. And we also focus on mindset, faith, education, and wealth, because those are the principles and those are the things that you can learn to be successful in life and in business. So with that being said, take a look at our website at fnfstore.com, where you can find our apparel, you can find things about our company, and much more. Back to the show.
Sorry about that, you guys. But yeah, one thing I'm learning is that I got to be patient with myself. And that's the only way that I can be patient with other people, because it's like, of course, there's levels to it. It's like, I can't even stretch myself to be patient for somebody else if my patience for myself is thin.
Right.
So it's like, within my process of being patient with other people, I remind myself, like, if I'm not as patient as I need to be right now, I need to be patient with myself, because I'm still growing to that place. Like, don't beat myself up about not being as patient as I should be, or as patient as I feel I should be, but still, just being patient with myself and realizing that everything is a process.
That's right.
That's one thing. And another thing that I'm learning is to wait. Like, when I'm making decisions, like, wait a good amount of time, but don't wait too long, because opportunities will pass you by. So, like, when you see something that can be good for you or good for your family, like, tomorrow isn't promised. So if you can do it now, do it now. Like, don't wait on it. That's right. One thing, a lesson I'm learning. Like, don't wait on it, because being grateful to God for every moment, every second, I understand that if I say, okay, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, that it might not happen. So it's like, right now, bro. Right now is the golden moment. Right now is the golden moment.
Always. Real talk. Real talk.
And going on, bro, we got another segment, the financial thing. Yo, we got the financial theme of the month. And I want you to, you know what it is, right?
Well, having a LLC?
Nah, that was last month. The financial thing for this month is investing into yourself.
Right.
So I want you to give your take on that. Like, you say something as far as investing into yourself.
Oh man, I think the best thing that I could possibly say is just, sitting still. Sitting still sometimes, not in regards to waiting on God, but just, I know I had to learn to give myself time and, not try to pack my schedule down full. And I'm still learning how to do that because it's so easy for me to slip into, do this right here this time, do this right here this time. But I'm also learning that in me doing that, I can sometimes get a little too lax. So I'm still finding my balance on that. But ultimately, me investing in myself, one way that I do it is to create space for me to relax and, meditate, pray. It's crazy because the other day I was getting ready to put my agenda together that I typically do every so often of stuff that I need to get done and just creating a new schedule for myself. And like I told you, with this new stuff I'm taking on with school and work, I would need to rebuild or restructure my weeks. You feel me?
Right.
So I was about to do that. And I'm so happy that God moved me in that situation because in doing that, I just ended up just brainstorming stuff, just thinking, okay, I need to do this. So let me write this down. I got to dedicate time to this. Let me write this down. And then I somehow started I'm writing all this down, right? And then I somehow started writing stuff like, I need to be more consistent. You know what I mean? I need to get more rest at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went on to sleep. I woke up that morning with every intention to just continue what I was doing and just putting this task right here, putting this sleep right here, putting this right here. But amazingly, and me spending that time, just dedicating time to put my goals and strategy together, I ended up writing in a way where I was kind of like talking to myself and God at the same time. Because I really started addressing, like my writing turned into me addressing, like, why don't I go to sleep at night? Why am I not consistent in some ways? You know what I mean? And really just started, figuring some things out. And I ain't gonna lie to you, when I got done, I felt kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, man, I had to take that time to be real with my motherfucking self.
Right.
Because a lot of times I know I would get caught up in do this, and hearing what people saying, and this is the way that it need to be. But sometimes we just need that time to really, talk to ourselves and talk to God and be real about it. You know what I mean? Because just because we moving don't mean we being constructive.
So,
and that's what I was saying. Sitting down and being real with yourself.
okay.
That's the investment. Stop being busy. Stop being busy and really sit down and give time to yourself. You giving yourself time. You investing time into yourself instead of just the task of doing stuff. Or, investing money into your business. You investing time.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Because I was like, you giving testimony. And that's why I felt like you was going into like a testimony, which is good. I'm not saying that's not good. I'm just saying, like, we want to make sure that, we give them like the pointers or whatnot, because I know that we ain't did that yet on the episode. So before we close out, let's give like some practical steps real quick, because we did talk about the vision, having goals growing up, and making sure that the youth that we have around us have goals or whatnot, so that we won't continue to go into the same direction year after year after year, as far as our kids turning 18 and going off to college and going off and getting jobs. Like, we want to make sure that the mindset is right before they leave the house, so that they'll have a plan or some type of foundation before they leave the house, so they won't be freestyling their life. Because it's like, if you freestyle, you're going to free fall. So thank you for your viewpoint and your pointer on investing in yourself, and we're going to leave that as is. So step one, practical step, is we need some mentorship. So if you have kids, or if you are a teenager listening to this, or if you know somebody that look up to you or whatnot, get into some mentorship. find somebody that's positive, find somebody that got something good going on that can be good for the future. Connect with those people and get around that type of environment, because it's going to send them a little further in the mindset than he would just being around people who only talk about the negative things of life. So that's step one, mentorship. That's going to spiral down to your mindset, because we did talk about mentorship is going to help you with that guidance, and it's going to help you with that vision, and it's going to help you set some goals. And so those are really the three things we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just about closing it up, bro. If anything else you would like to add to that, Vic?
No, I do want to say one thing.
Okay.
I just thought about when you was talking about having patience for yourself. It made me think about Colossians in the Bible, chapter 3, verse 12. And it says, therefore, as a part of God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, I clothe myself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And what I get from that is just, I gotta put the clothes on myself first. You get what I'm saying? Like it said, clothe myself with these things, ending in patience. That means I gotta give it to myself first. I gotta put it on me first. So I just wanted to share that, man.
Man, shoot, I needed that for myself. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing
man.
that. That's a good scripture. Text me that, please.
I got you.
And also, thank you guys for tuning in for episode conversation 22 of We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And man, we'll see y'all next week for episode conversation number 23. And we gone.
Peace.
Peace.
Tapping in, kings and queens. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast but didn't know where to start? Well, I got some good news for you. Have you ever heard about Anchor by Spotify? It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. It has tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you will need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, it's totally free. So if you're interested, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Did you know 1 out of every 4 adults suffer from mental illness in some type of way? This is why we created a movement called MH10. This was created to encourage and empower people to focus on themselves for at least 10 minutes per day, at least for a jog, a walk, or a run, or meditation for that time. The goal is to decrease stress, because stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental issues in the body. So if you want to join the movement, you can post on social media during your 10 minutes using hashtags MH10 or Mental Health 10 Minutes.